Hello, my name is Matt Hill. I'm a 33-year-old father, husband, business owner, and in the year 2020, I lost 110 pounds to regain some control of my life and to regain my health and to try to have a more energetic lifestyle. Growing up, I've always been overweight, and then, in my 20s, and it really got to a place that I think I would consider out of control. I hadn't been under 300 pounds in quite some time, and I knew that something had to change. Within the last year and a half, me and my wife had a daughter, and becoming a father and seeing the type of lifestyle that I wanted for my child, I knew that I needed to change. I knew that if I wanted to be around and see her grow and to see her life, that I needed to make something happen. This started in February. I started to make progress. I lost about 20 pounds, and then the pandemic hit and things kind of came to a screeching halt. And it was maybe 2 months where I maintained that 20-pound loss, but I was not making the advances that I wanted to be making. So that's when I really reached out for some support, and I learned a routine that worked for me to see me get the results that I needed. I just changed 3 things in my life that saw me get those results. I changed the way that I ate, I added in exercise regularly, and I controlled when I did my eating. With all of those things combined, I saw really, really good results, and I've seen some really good success. And I think with these things, I think it's possible for anybody to do them. Now, I'm going to show my before and after pictures. This is the before pictures when I'd lost 20 pounds, and the after is when I'd lost, between 105 and 110 pounds. And warning, it's a grown man in his underpants. And I also don't really want to show this picture, but I think it's important that you can see that even after losing 100 pounds, I don't have a perfect body by any means, and I still have a ways to go, but the change and the energy that I have now compared to before is tremendous. It just took me making the choice to step forward and to do this. So here are those pictures, and it's hard for me to look at and to see, because I think when you're that big, you don't really see yourself as being as big as I actually was. I think I saw myself as being fairly normal sized, but in reality, I was far from okay. There was a desperate need for a change. I started out with taking about a mile walk every day. All I would do, it's simple, I just put on sneakers and go for a walk. And I was motivated by my Apple Watch that I wanted to fill all my rings every day and get all my rings every day. I would take my walk every day and make sure I filled up my exercise ring and make sure I filled up my move ring on my Apple Watch. And that's it. That's all I really added in for exercise. And the more that I did it, the further I could go, and the further it would take for me to fill up my move goal and exercise goal. But I would hit those goals, and it would feel good, and I would just want to continue doing that. And that's it. That's the simple thing. It takes 30 to 40 minutes a day to walk, for me to do my walk. And granted, if you're only doing a mile, it'll take much less. But all it took was me to say, I'm going to get up every day at 5:30 in the morning and go for my walk. And that would be before my wife had to get up, or before my daughter had to get up. And when we got into the summertime, it was nice because we could all go together. I wouldn't have to get up so early. I could go later in the day, and we could go as a family. And that was something that we really enjoyed over the summer. And now that it's getting to the colder months and there's snow on the ground and things, I'm still going, but it's just it's getting to be more of an issue. So I'm transitioning to indoor exercises with yoga and some other things I'm going to be implementing, so I can still close my rings and get the exercise that I need to get But that's it. That's the only thing I added for exercise was taking a walk every day. I didn't, sign up for an expensive personal trainer or a gym membership or anything like that. I just put on some sneakers and went for a walk. The second thing that I changed was my diet. I've tried to do different diets and things before, and I've never really had much success. And this was the first time that I committed to a certain way of eating. And the way that I chose to do was to eat a paleo diet. And what that means, and granted, I'm no fitness expert or health expert or dietitian, what that meant, so I guess what it meant for me was no beans, no bread, no wheat, no dairy, and no sugar, no artificial things. And I kind of took certain liberties with this. I wasn't perfect. I wouldn't consider my diet a perfect paleo diet, but what I focused on was kind of just simple foods, simple ingredients. So eggs, breakfast sausage was kind of what I ate for breakfast. I would have a fruit protein smoothie for lunch, sometimes with a paleo granola bar, specifically the RX bars. And then for dinner, it would look like chicken breast and vegetables, a lot of cauliflower rice, a lot of zoodles, zucchini noodles, with sugar-free pasta sauce, things like that really are very simple, very easy to make, very affordable to make. When I first started looking at the paleo diet, it seemed like it was going to be very expensive and very hard to maintain that with having to eat differently than the rest of my family. It's like the grocery bills would really add up. But when you break it down into just eating simple foods, it's like eggs and breakfast sausage, or fruit, protein powder, almond milk. It's like those aren't super complicated meals, and there's not a ton of ingredients, so it's easy and it's affordable. Having that simplicity and repetition of food, it made it kind of something I didn't have to think about. A big part of this was tracking my calories on the MyFitnessPal app on my iPhone, and I chose to stay between 16 and 1700 calories a day, and that was kind of where I always landed, and that was where I saw results. I didn't do a massive cut, below 1500 or anything like that. I wanted to stay in an area where it was like attainable and sustainable for me. Overall, like it was, that diet really worked. And then the third thing was adding in an intermittent fasting regimen to my day. So what that means, it sounds gimmicky and it sounds complicated, but really all it is saying I'm not going to eat any food after 6:30 p.m. and I'm not going to eat any food before 10:30 a.m. And that's it. Then I would eat all my meals between 10:30 and 6:30 p.m. and it would give my body time to use up the food that I've eaten, get to a place where it's starting to kind of eat all the built up fat in my body. At least that's my understanding of it. I'm not a scientist, but that's kind of my understanding of how it worked. And at first I think it was tough to think like, wow, I'm not going to eat until 10:30 or I'm never going to eat after 6:30, but it's just having that regimen and having that like dedicated time, it really helps you focus and know what you're trying to do and what you're working towards. And that's it. And it's very easy, and it's a simple boundary to implement. And then once a week, I implemented a 24-hour fast once a week. So I would eat dinner on Thursday night, and I'd be done eating by 6:30, and then I wouldn't eat again until I would have a small meal of 500 calories or less between 6 and 6:30 the following day. And what that does is it extends that period, and it extends the amount of time that your body is eating up the stored fat. And it really is where I saw the largest weight loss for me. It was more difficult, of course. I mean, you're not eating for 24 hours, but like having an extended fast really helps to kind of rebalance and regulate like where I want to be and kind of how I want to feel. And every week it would get to that point, and every week it got easier and easier. And I think really once I made the choice to get started and to get doing this, like, I knew that I had made the right decision. And I think that's where a lot of us get stuck, is we have a hard time saying yes, truly saying yes to the initial choice of, I'm gonna make a change, I'm gonna grow, and I'm gonna like better myself, because we think it's gonna be too hard, we think we can't do it. But it really comes down to taking one step at a time, and of course it's not all gonna happen overnight, but if you continually make the right choices and you have the discipline, you will have success. And I think by doing it, this way, and like I said, I'm not where I want to be completely. I think I still have about 40 pounds that I want to lose to get me to where I truly want to end up. But it's just implementing these simple things, and really I think it's possible for anybody to do it, and you can have these results, and you can be successful, and you can have the lifestyle that you want to have and that you deserve to have. I can accept my body and be positive about my body, but I also know that, like, I love being able to chase my daughter around, and I love being able to, the fact that, like, I'm going to be active with her throughout her life. And if I hadn't made this decision, that just wouldn't have happened, and it wouldn't have been possible. What to expect going forward from my channel and what will be happening. I recorded some videos over the summer that I'm going to be putting out. So a big part of my life and something I love is playing paintball, and I let that go in my 20s, and I'm excited that I picked it back up. And one of my goals was when I lost 50 pounds, I was kind of as a reward, I was able to get this paintball stuff and get back into the game and start playing. So the next couple of videos, or maybe the next video, I'll maybe kind of sprinkle them in, are going to be some from over the summer that talk about more about me in progress, or me on the journey. So the first video is after I lost about 50 pounds, and then we'll go from there. And I'm also going to do some more detailed videos about, like, the tools that I use, so things like how I use my Apple Watch, how I use my FitnessPal, the things I use in the kitchen, more details about the meals that I would eat, break down like exactly what my breakfast looked like, or what my lunch looked like, or some dinners would look like. And then just kind of, talking about the different things that you go through when you lose this kind of weight, or, when you need to lose weight, or what that looks like. We're all different. We all have different things that we deal with, but I think we all have similar things as well. And I'll just talk about some of the things that I've gone through, and some of the the mental battles that you have when you're doing this kind of thing. So this is the start of something that I know that if you choose to make these changes, I know you can have results like I've had, and I hope that I can make this a place of support. And if you have any questions about more details, feel free to reach out to me in the comments, or you can direct message me or things like that, and I'll be happy to help as best as I can. 2020 was hard for a lot of people, but I know that if you truly just make the choice to make the change for the positive, I know that 2021 can be an amazing year, and you can see incredible results, and you can lose 100 pounds just like I did. So that's kind of where I'm going to end it. I think I've said a lot, and I think I've said enough. So next week will be a video from the summer, and then we'll pick it up and we'll see where it goes from there. All right. Bye. See ya.